Welcome to Nuggets of Gold. Today there is no sun in the sky. There is no sun. I just finished up my run, and on my run I saw no sliver of blue sky, no sliver of sunlight. See that? Just a just a full blanket of clouds. This reminds me of one of my favorite lessons from nature about God and our faith. This is a mini nugget before we get into our real nugget. Mini nugget. Gray sky does not mean the sun is gone. Gray sky blocks our view of the sun, but the sun is still doing what it is supposed to do. The power of the sun is not diminished by the clouds. That is such a significant and powerful lesson for our faith when things in our life cloud our view of God, cloud our thoughts of God, cloud our faith in God. He has not changed. His power has not changed. His glory, his blazing glory like the sun has not changed. If it's cloudy in your sky today, whether up in the air or in your life, God has not changed. That is mini nugget. I'm going to play with the camera a little bit here. There we go. And let's get into our real nugget. Yesterday's card had two verses on it, and we're going to take the second verse today just to build on the theme. 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. It says three verses, but in fact these are tiny little phrases in 1 Thessalonians. They say this: be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Let's hear it again. Be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Pause, pray, think. Let's talk. Oh, we just had a camera fall there. We're set back up on our normal angle here on the porch. One of my very favorite things about the Bible, if you've been around me very much, you've probably heard me say this. One of my favorite things about the Bible is that it is so honest about real life. The Bible does not sound anything like a fairy tale when it talks about life on earth and human existence and human relationships. The Bible is very honest about the bad news and about the good news. And this verse reminds me of that in its first two phrases. The first phrase is, be joyful always. And the second phrase is, pray continually. And I put those two phrases together, and it makes me think of the honesty of the Bible. The Bible is honest that you will, as a God follower, as a God believer, you always have a reason to be joyful. Always be joyful always. You always have a reason in Christ. And then the second phrase says, pray continually, which reminds us in real life we will always need to pray. We'll always have a reason to be joyful. We will always need to pray. I think of Richard Wurmbrand, the Romanian pastor from the early 1900s. And he was arrested for being a Bible teaching man in communist Romania. He was imprisoned for years and years, and he wrote the stories of his arrests and imprisonments years later, and he would talk about what they did to his body, what the guards would do to his body. And he talked about never losing a love for the guards. He said, we had a deal. Me and the guards had a deal. I would tell them about Jesus, and they would torture my body. I loved them so much. That was the deal in my mind. I would talk about Jesus, and they would torture my body. How in the world could he possibly do that? Is because he had such a vision and such a faith and such a knowledge of God that he could be joyful always, understanding that he would always need to pray continually. Life was going to be difficult. Well, bringing that a little bit closer to home, our daughter last year went to the hospital with this brain tumor and went through the brain tumor surgery. And as we were navigating through that and not knowing what the outcome would be, we had reasons to be joyful every day, and not medical reasons. Some of the days the medical news was bad. We had reasons to be joyful. We had the chance to be a daughter. We had the chance to have modern medicine. We had the chance to know that God says, I am always with you. And on the other side, we had lots of reasons to pray continually. As you walk through your life, be as honest with yourself as a Christian as the Bible is honest. You have a reason to be joyful every day. You have dozens of reasons. You have spiritual reasons and physical reasons. I think of the lady who I've known for about 15 or 20 years. Her back hurts every day. She is in chronic pain. And my dear friend may have this chronic pain for another decade or 2 decades or 3 decades until she meets the Lord. She has a reason, even in the midst of her pain, to be joyful always. God is one day going to lift her out of that. And she has a need to pray continually every day, because when she's honest, she talks to me and says, my back hurts and it makes me want to be mean to my family and it makes me want to complain to God. We have a reason every day to be joyful always and to pray continually. This is the honest rhythm of a Christian life. Don't try to avoid one or the other. Find reasons today to be joyful. And don't lie to yourself. You're also going to need God's help, so pray today as well. Chase that joy in Him. Chase that joy in the things around you, and pray for Him to work through you and work in you and give you hope wherever you go. We'll see you soon.